This one's called My Town Had a Quiet Hour. Last night I found out why. I grew up in a tiny town in northern Maine, population barely 900 people, the kind of place where everyone knows your truck by the sound of the engine. But the weirdest thing about the town wasn't the isolation. It was the quiet hour. Every night at exactly 1:13 a.m., every single person stayed inside for 1 hour. No lights on, no phones, no windows open, nothing. As a kid, I thought it was some kind of old tradition, like a weird small-town superstition. If you ask about it, adults would say, "Some things out there only notice you if you notice them first." No one explained further. Last month, my mom died, so I moved back home to clean out her house before selling it. I hadn't lived there in 12 years. Honestly, I'd forgotten about the quiet hour completely. Until my first night back at 1:10 a.m., my phone buzzed. A town emergency alert. Quiet hour begins in 3 minutes. Lock all entrances. Do not look outside. I actually laughed. I thought maybe the town had turned the old superstition into some dumb community thing. Then every light on the street went dark at once. The entire town became pitch black. That's when I heard it. Footsteps. Slow. Wet. Directly outside my house. I froze near the kitchen window. My first thought was something was messing with me. Teenagers, maybe. Then something tapped on the glass. Not a knock, a fingernail, dragging slowly downward. I should have ignored it. Everyone said not to look outside during quiet hour. Instead, I peeked through the blinds. There was a woman standing in my front yard. At least, I think it was a woman. She wore a long gray dress, soaked black at the bottom, like she'd walked through deep water. Her hair hung over her face completely, but what made my stomach drop was her height. She was impossibly tall. Her head nearly touched the low tree of the branches over my yard, and she was perfectly still. Then my phone buzzed again. Another emergency alert. Do not let them see you watching. The second my screen lit up, the woman's head snapped toward my window. I ducked immediately, then came the sprinting. Not toward the house, around it. Fast footsteps circling the walls over and over. I heard fingernails scraping the siding, windows rattling, something laughing softly right outside my bedroom wall. I stayed curled on the kitchen floor trying not to breathe. Then I heard my mother's voice. Upstairs. "Eli?" I stopped cold. My mom had been dead for 3 weeks. "Eli, come upstairs, honey." Exactly her voice, perfectly. A floorboard creaked above me. Something was walking through the hallway. I almost answered automatically. That's the scary part. For half a second, my brain genuinely believed it was her. Then I remembered something my grandfather told me when I was little. They only sound human when you're lonely. The footsteps stopped directly above me. Silence. Then, a single whisper right beside the kitchen window. He looked at me. Not you. He. Like it was talking to someone else. Suddenly, every dog in the town started screaming. Not barking, screaming. And from somewhere outside, dozens of footsteps began running through the streets all at once. I don't remember much after that. I hid under the kitchen table, covering my ears until sunlight came through the curtains. At 2:14 a.m. exactly, everything stopped. No footsteps, no whispers, nothing. The next morning, the town acted completely normal. People waved at me, the diner opened at 6, nobody mentioned the night before. Finally, I asked the cashier, an old woman named Ruth, what the quiet hour actually was. "You looked outside, didn't you?" I didn't answer. Her face went pale immediately. She reached under the counter and handed me a folded piece of paper. On it was a list of names, hundreds of them. Every person in town who had ever looked outside during quiet hour. Next to each name was a date, and beside some of the dates was a second note written in red ink. Heard their family afterward. I found my grandfather's name near the bottom, then my mother's. Before I asked anything else, Ruth whispered, You need to leave town before tonight. I asked her what happens if I stay. She looked toward the dark woods behind the diner window and said, they start talking to you during the daytime.